decided, you know what? I understand that this is my daughter's big moment. If there's one thing that I want her to remember for the rest of her life, it's never to touch black men. Hi, I'm Reese Waters, and welcome to the third edition of Racist of the Week. This week, what is going on, America? I sit down here, I want to do my troubled waters, I want to do my street politics, I want to do a live. No, you got to do Racist of the Week because America won't stop being racist. First, I had to sit down here and talk about Donald Trump dropping ends on the Apprentice and 3 black women discussing how to spin it.
I'm trying to find out at least what context it was used in to help us maybe try to figure out a way to spin it.
I said, well, sir, can you think of any time that this might have happened? And he said no.
Well, that's not true.
He goes, how do you think I should handle it? And I told him exactly what you just said, Marissa, which is, well, it depends on what scenario you're talking about. And he said, well, why don't you just go ahead and put it to bed?
Then I had to come here and talk about American Airlines and them deciding to remove all the black people from a flight for an odor complaint, which was made by one flight attendant.
Yo, I paid for the flight just like everybody else. So we don't have a right to be on this flight?
So this is discrimination.
Yo, this is insane.
I agree. Yo, just because of the color of my skin.
Correct.
Okay.
I do not disagree with you.
I had to talk about that. Now, we got a whole nother issue we got to discuss. Now, this is where we typically expose the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And I want to put a capital S on stupidity for this particular one and also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the page and definitely leave me any possible suggestions for nominees in the comments. Today's nominee, this Baraboo County, Wisconsin parent. Now, the graduation ceremony at a Wisconsin high school took a chaotic turn when a white student's father disrupted the proceedings, confronting the black superintendent for reasons I'll articulate in great detail in just a moment. First, check out the video.
Excuse me. Where's Brendan? Where's Brendan?
Get away from me, bro.
No, don't.
Hey, no. Hey, you need to get. Hey.
Walk away.
Get off. You gotta go.
I will get off.
Out right now. I don't care. Get off the stage right now.
That way, Michael. No. Where's Brendan? Whose dad is that?
Brendan's.
Okay. Who's up?
Now, the video shows a young girl donned in her cap and gown walking across the stage for her big moment, one which she's prepared for quite a long time for, I can imagine, approaching a line of administrators to shake hands. While she was about 3 administrators away from Baraboo School District Superintendent Rainey Briggs, a black man, the student's father enters and shoves the superintendent out of the way, declaring, "That's my daughter. I don't want her touching him." Man, why could that be? Huh? Why? I'm wondering why. What could be the issue with the superintendent? I mean, he does happen to be the only person of color on stage. Could that be it? Could that be? Or maybe it's just because he's superintendent and nobody gonna be super around my daughter, because my daughter is the only super one. So She not meeting no superintendent. We're not doing that. I'm running out of possible explanations before we get to the obvious. Now, in response, Briggs, off camera, demanded that the father remove his hands. The incident, mostly out of video frame, caused a temporary halt to the ceremony, leaving the student visibly shocked and embarrassed. Which brings me to him deciding that this was the moment that he was going to make a stand. Something that his daughter, I'm sure, was looking quite forward to. He decided, you know what? I understand that this is my daughter's big moment and this is something she might remember for the rest of her life. But she ain't gonna be touching no colors. No, she ain't gonna be touching no colors. If it's one thing that I want her to remember for the rest of her life, it's never to touch black men. That is the thing I want her to remember for the rest of her life. I also find it kind of interesting how shocked and appalled she was in this particular instance. I'm grateful for that reaction because that tells me that this behavior is not normalized. At the same time, I wonder how it could be that a man who chooses this moment for him to take a stand in public, that his daughter is not going to touch a black man's hand, how that behavior is not something that has presented itself in the past. Like, I can't imagine just living in a home with a man who decided that was his moment to strike is an anti-racist environment. State Rep Francesca Hong told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that the incident was purely racist. Unless there was another deliberate reason, there was nobody else he pushed out of the way, end quote. She also condemned the act on social media, labeling it as gross and racist conduct. I don't want to automatically jump to racism, but what else could his motivations possibly be? Well, I really disagree with some of the decisions that have been made by the superintendent and also the administration. And so while I'm totally fine with her touching everybody else and shaking hands, I just can't have my daughter shake hands with the superintendent because that would be an implicit approval of everything that he has done during his tenure. What? I mean, make it make sense. You know how bad it is when racism is the best explanation? Not like the best from a moral standpoint, but the most sensible explanation. Because I have seen people try to make excuses for this and say it might not have to do with race. Make your case. Make your case. Right? Because we all know that all the people that I shook hands with on stage all throughout my grade school, junior high, and high school years meant an approval of how they've been operating the school district. Yeah, I am tied to my association with the principal and superintendents I shook hands with in 8th grade. That makes me culpable in all of their behavior. What the f are you talking about? That doesn't make any logical sense. Now, unlike many similar incidents, this one actually resulted in immediate consequences for the father. The Baraboo School District responded swiftly, as reported by WKOW. The district confirmed that law enforcement referred a disorderly conduct charge against the father to the Sauk County District Attorney's Office. The Baraboo School Resource Officer, along with 2 off-duty officers present at the ceremony, quickly managed the situation. The police escorted the parent off stage and out of the venue. Quote, "We emphasize that the safety and well-being of our students, staff, and community members is a top priority. The school district of Baraboo is taking this incident very seriously," which was stated by a district spokesperson. Now, if you watch the video at the very end, there is quite a commotion in the crowd. Now, you could read this as people approving of the officers stepping in and removing the father from stage, or you could possibly read this as folks advocating for the father and being happy that he chose the moment to take a stand. You could be on either side of that. Now my natural inclination when I watch the video is the former, is to say that the people were reacting to the officers removing the father from stage and they wanted to continue on with the ceremony. They didn't appreciate this disruption. That was my natural reading of the situation. And then I saw that this is the same district where a photo came out showing students in the high school doing an apparent Nazi salute. Yeah, if this was a court of law, I would just rest my case. I would just rest my case. I have no more questions at this time, Your Honor. I would appreciate privacy for me and my family in this moment while we reflect and do some rethinking on my prior belief that we lived in a good and just society. Now, the father is scheduled to appear in Sauk County Circuit Court in August, though his name was largely omitted from reports to protect his daughter's identity. Now, this had been out for a couple of days without anybody actually identifying the father, which is curious because typically when somebody engages in behavior like this, they get identified. Also, typically when somebody has charges pressed against them, they get identified. But we chose to protect his identity in order to protect the daughter. So it's totally fine for him to put his daughter in that situation. He didn't see any need to protect his daughter by not having this viral moment of blatant racism on stage while she was getting her diploma, but we are going to choose to protect his daughter. So we are choosing to show more care about his daughter than he showed. I also find it curious. We all know who the superintendent is. We all know who that is. We all know that he was left out there and exposed for a father to come on stage and put his hands on him. So we didn't protect the superintendent. We didn't protect the superintendent, but we got to make sure we protect the racists. Oh, y'all ain't slick. Y'all ain't slick. Yeah, we let him march right on stage and put his hands on the superintendent, but we got to protect his identity, for his daughter, right? We got to protect his identity. Save him from his racism, but certainly not going to save us from his racism. Now, as much as I hate to be the bearer of bad news for all the people that worked so hard and twisted themselves into pretzels to try and protect this man from himself, Matt Eddy. Yeah, we know who you are, Matt Eddy. Yeah, we know who you are. Yeah, they found the employer and everything. Yeah, they got you, man. They found you, Matt Eddy. You thought that we were going to protect you, right? You thought that we were going to protect you and not the superintendent. That's not what I do. Yeah, you go on stage and you behave like that, then you can answer for your behavior. And no, I don't associate your daughter with your behavior. And quite frankly, I hope she's doing okay having grown up in a home with you. So congratulations to you, Matt Eddy. You are our third Racist of the Week nominee. And my goodness, racists are getting absolutely bold. You see this? They just getting bold. Like I said in the American Airlines piece, like you would think they would sprinkle a couple of white people in there just so it wasn't so obvious you're removing the black people from the plane. Black people that didn't even know each other, mind you. Now, if you were going to come on stage and have an issue, you sure you didn't want to just take your daughter off stage and say, I don't want to shake hands with the administrators? To those that are making the nonsense case that this was politically motivated or this was somehow motivating the job he was doing in the district, the better move for your case would have been for him to separate her from all of the administrators, not the only black one. That is how lazy racists are getting in 2024, and that is how bold racists are getting in 2024. As always, if you have somebody you would like to nominate, you can leave it in the comments, or you can email me at reese.waters@gmail.com. A ton of you sent me this story, so I'm grateful to you for that. Be sure to subscribe to the page to make sure you get notified when the next video drops.